Hey guys, I'm back with another candle review, and this time around it's for the 14.5 ounce 3-wick Pink Lilac and Vanilla candle from Bath& Body Works. This is not a new fragrance. It's been out many years actually, and I loved it the very first year. I fell in love with it. I think I bought four of them. Back then it was new, so I was just like, oh my god, I don't know if this is going to come back, so I need to hoard it. But then now, obviously, it seems to come out pretty much every single year, and it seems to be, I feel like it came out earlier in the season, but now they kind of reserve it for a Mother's Day quotable candle. But I'm still happy I can still get it. I love the pink color match lid on there. Don't love the way the text box setup is there, but the floral photo background is quite pretty as well. But in any case, the notes on this read fresh lilac bouquets, dewy greens, and vanilla blossom. And oh my god, I love this. Yeah, this is amazing. I just wanted to see what a newer version would do. I feel like it's not as strong as the original pink wax, pink jar version was, but still a very beautiful fragrance nonetheless. I think this is pretty much their way of taking the fresh cut lilac fragrance, which is I believe is one of their number one floral fragrances, and kind of making a deviation of it and adding vanilla to it to make it a little bit more sweeter and creamier, and maybe a little less heavily floral. If you smell fresh cut lilacs, it is intensely floral. But this basically takes the fresh cut lilac fragrance. Even the first two notes in the fragrance notes are the same. So they're you know what, we don't want to mess with a winning formula. Let's even keep the same two notes and then add vanilla blossom as a third note and call it a day. But you get that beautiful fresh cut lilacs fragrance from Bath and Body Works. Very powdery, distinctly lilac type of fragrance. This kind of takes sort of that, there's a little bit more a crisp green, extra crisp, sharp intensity to fresh cut lilacs. It kind of takes away some of that, and then it adds a vanilla blossom note to make it sweeter and creamier. And the vanilla blossom is quite nice as well. There's a vanilla blossom, I always say, this fragrance oil on the market that's pretty much just injected into the fresh cut lilacs type of fragrance that we get from Bath and Body Works, and it's the merging of those two. And the vanilla blossom is not really it's not really an edible gourmand vanilla. It's not a marshmallow vanilla. It's almost this on its own. It's also a somewhat floral but still sweet vanilla fragrance that just gives it a little bit more depth or robustness to it, but in a sweet vanilla type of way. But in simple terms, it's pretty much fresh cut lilacs plus a inedible vanilla is kind of how this comes off as. And it's so pretty. There's just a very pink girly feminine feel to it, and I absolutely love it. I love my floral gourmand fragrances, and since vanilla kind of leans gourmand, this is that perfect marriage of that sort of floral plus gourmand fragrance, and it's just quite nice. So if you maybe think fresh cut lilac a little bit too much, too intense, too powdery, too floral, and want a sweeter, I guess more palatable version of it, then check this out. And I think even if you like fresh cut lilacs, which I also enjoy that one as well, you can still enjoy this one too, because it's just another variation of it. I would say this is actually quite lighter than fresh cut lilacs as well, so if you find that one to be too strong or overwhelming, this is a nice sort of variation of that. So overall, nothing but good things to say about the fragrance, and I appreciate that it keeps coming out. So this is a third burn. It has the thick rope-like wicks on it, pulls out in no time, so we're good to go there. I kind of wanted to buy this candle in 2024 to see how it compared to my older versions, just because I haven't kind of burned and dug into a new version for quite some time. And I have to say, this isn't as strong as the original one was. The original one, I was actually recently burning it, and it has the core wicks with the pink wax, so it's a different formulation of it. And that one always soothed like crazy, and thankfully this isn't soot as much as that version did. But the other one, I feel was a lot more potent in the medium plus 6 to a 7 range, and I loved it because it was just strong and thick and juicy and awesome. But this one I feel sort of lacks a punch, and I remember my mother burning a similar version of Pink Lilac and Vanilla that had the white wax and the thick rope-like wicks as you see here. It was another Mother's Day quotable one from a year or two back, and I remember smelling it in her house and being oh, this just doesn't seem as strong as before, and I think she was also saying it wasn't as strong. And so it seems these thick rope-like wick ones don't, for whatever reason, aren't quite as strong as the original core wick batches that I had, so kind of a bummer there. I would say this one I can still smell it, and it's not unscented, and it's stronger than Dressed in White, but I would say just kind of at a 5 rather than the more stronger 7 medium plus that I was getting. So I just put this in the medium range. I wish it was still a little bit stronger, but it's still present, and I guess pleasant and noticeable in a smaller size room, but not quite as the powerhouse that I had experienced originally. Overall, despite the slightly diminished throw, still such a beautiful fragrance that I can't really super discount it. But yeah, it's a little bit of a disappointment, but I'm glad it still comes out, and it still smells divine and delicious. It's a beautiful like fragrance for like a Mother's Day lineup. So I appreciate that at least they released this than like yet another variation of fresh cut lilacs in a quotable packaging or something like that. So I still really enjoy this fragrance. So it gives a two thumbs up from me. So that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts on this candle down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.